the first manuscript is done. And as soon as he gets that, he reads it through and sees the thing and finds one part of the book that amuses him. This bit, for instance, this one, for instance, which is two little tricks. She goes to the theatre to produce the Count, who she's in love with, you see. And there she's written, well, he's very French, and she's English, you see, and she's written there, so she's got her riding hat, you see. Yeah. That's the polybergère, you see, and I love all their hats. And you know how the polybergère in the old days, they were always full of very proper women in wonderful hats.
Oh, frightfully respectable in that picture.
Oh, well, I don't know what respectable to be doing in a picture. And there's my lovely Indian one, which I love. You see, I don't know whether you can see that on the camera. But I love my Indian books, because I adore India. And so when I do Indian books, I really get sort of carried away with excitement and romance of it all.
I asked Barbara Cartland if she had any clear mental image of the sort of person who read her books.
Now, you're cleverer than anyone else, because they've had the huge survey in America to ask that very question. And they found, firstly, where they do their surveys very well, first of all, they found I sold just as well in Boston as I sold in any other part. Also, that I sell to every group. My granddaughter, who's 15, says I'm the most popular author in Heathfield, and she gets a lot of reflected glory from it. I know I sell enormously to the old people, because they asked particularly to have it in big print, and they've had a cassette now for the blind. I sell enormously in hospitals, and I think I sell to every group.
What, even intellectual people, do you think, would they?
Well, as I say, it depends on President Sadat reads my books. You may call him intellectual.
Yes.
Indira Gandhi reads my books, and perhaps you call her intellectual. She's a very great friend of mine. She enjoys my books enormously. I've got lots of people all over the world of that caliber who read my books. But of course, the great bulk are women of every age.
And another way of telling it's a Barbara Cartland book is that the paragraphs are never more than, I think, 5 lines long.
Well, you know why that happened? I said to my secretaries, you see, I said, when you get a big paragraph, what you do? And they said, skip it. And I thought to myself, now why? And I realized that nowadays people only listen to conversation. They listen to television, they listen to wireless. It's all in conversation. So in other words, anything that's not in inverted commas, they don't read. So I wrote my book called The Magic of Honey, which is my health book, which has gone all over the world, entirely in conversation. He said, she said, they said, and everybody read it. So now, all my novels look exactly like conversations. I never have more than 3 lines of the paragraph, so it still looks like conversation.
Lovers of the 3-line paragraph buy the books in their millions, and when the opportunity arises, flock along to public places to see the one-woman industry in person.
Novelist Barbara Cartland is making a personal appearance and signing copies of her record, An Album of Love Songs, in the picture gallery on the 1st floor. So come up and get your own autographed copies of Barbara Cartland's records and books in the picture gallery now.
I may be right, I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that when you turn and smile at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square.
Boldness has ever been her friend, and perhaps nobody but Barbara Cartland would have thought that because other famous people sang, she should too.
Good night. A nightingale sang in Berkeley Square.
I didn't know you could sing.
Well, actually, what happened was the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra came to me and said, we want to do some romantic music, and will you choose them for us as the Queen of Romance? And so I said, well, I'm very flattered, of course, but I think unless a song about love is sung, you don't know the sort of words we wrote. The lyrics are interesting. So they said, all right, you can have singers if you want to. You tell us what you want. So I went away to Guadeloupe with my younger son, having had a very good lunch, almost as good as one of Nigel's, I was motoring over the mountains singing, and I suddenly said, I have a wonderful idea, I will sing with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And he said, Mummy, you're raving mad. And I came back and I had Norman Newell down, who is the greatest producer of records. And I said, it won't be, I shan't lose face if you say you're awful. You think I can make a record? And he'd just done Rex Harrison. He thought I'd speak a lot of it. I do speak some of it. And then I practiced and practiced. My voice came back. I did have a little voice in the 20s. After 40 years, it came back. And it's a very, very little young voice, rather like a Barbara Cartland virgin. Very romantic. And everybody cries. It's supposed to be a very happy record.
Barbara Cartland's romantic novels are a fairy tale projection of a world that sounds like a fairy tale itself. It began to vanish round about 1918.
It was a very exciting time because, you know, men were pouring out of the services. They'd had a terrible time in France. I don't remember anybody describing how awful it was. And they all wanted to get married and settle down. So every man you met sort of fell in love with you and wanted to propose to you. It was quite exciting. And you danced because it was the relief the war was over, and it was expression. Like after an earthquake, you know, people make love in the ruins because it's a sort of relief. We all danced. We danced and danced. We danced at breakfast. We danced all day. And it was quite exciting for me. It was a new world. I was exploring, finding out.
To point out that Barbara Cartland is 77 years old is no lack of gallantry, since few people would believe that such ruthless self-propulsion could survive so freshly for so long. Even death is viewed with vivacity.
I have a very complacent regard for death, which my brother had, simply and solely because there isn't such a thing as death with life. It only means the life force goes out of the body, which gets old and rather dilapidated, and you have a new body, if you're lucky enough to have one. I think you can only learn in this dimension, the third dimension, through a body. That's what the Greeks believed. You had to get a body to come back and learn. And I think that what we don't realize is that we can call on the life force. You can call it God, you can call it anything you like, which you do by concentration, meditation, prayer, whatever word you like to use for that, and you can use it. And when I'm speaking, when my brother was speaking, and anyone who really is a great speaker, you know that you're pouring out towards the people you're talking to. You're giving them a part of yourself. Now, that is the life force going through you. And that's why you often feel very tired after you've done. You very likely feel the same after doing a show. You feel you've gone from here. And the Greeks, you know, knew it so well that they always drew pictures of flames coming out of people's solar plexus, which is where you speak from. It's only the Christians who put it on the head and made it a halo for no reason at all. But everybody has this power to draw on this, and you draw through it by prayer, concentration, meditation, whatever word you like to call it.
Actual prayers have now been added to the Cartland production line. She recites them for her publisher.
And I put them in this, but you've got rid of the mock-up. I don't like that cover. We'll have another one.
Yes, I think pink, probably.
Of course, pink. Barbara Cartland pink,
yes.
You know. Now, this prayer, which I think you'll like, so listen to it, is it was really written, it's called the Nun's Prayer. It was given me by the nuns at a convent, and I was given it when I was 60. And I've said it ever since. Lord, thou knowest I'm growing old. Keep me from a fatal habit of thinking I must say something on every subject and on every occasion. Make me thoughtful, but not moody, helpful, but not bossy. With my vast store of knowledge, it seems a pity not to use it all, but thou knowest, Lord, that I want a few friends in the end.
Well, I think
keep my mind, I didn't finish yet, keep my mind free from the recital of endless details. Give me wings to get to the point. Seal my lips on aches and pains. I dare not ask for an improved memory, but for a growing humility and a lessening cocksureness when my memory seems to clash with the memories of others. Teach me the glorious lesson, that I may occasionally be mistaken. Give me the ability to see good things in unexpected places and talents in unexpected people. And please, give me the grace to tell them so.
That's lovely.
Don't you think that's lovely? It's called the Nun's Prayer, and I know a lot of people who feel that it's something which helps them enormously as they get older.
No, that's smashing.
Have you ever regretted or doubted or anything that you've done, any of the things you've done in your life?
People always ask me that. I don't think I regret anything, except perhaps some of the things that one worries about are the influence you've had on other people. When people say to me, something you said to me 5 years ago, I've always remembered, or 10 years ago, or you helped me 50 years ago, I think how awful if I hadn't done the right thing or said the right thing at that particular moment. That's the frightening thing. That's the one frightening thing you say of success or having a platform, is that perhaps you've hurt people by indifference, or the day you weren't very good and you didn't say the right thing, or you were being funny. That's one of the worst things. One thing is I have to be funny, and then perhaps I've said something which I ought to have found something serious instead of being rather funny. Now, let's make it absolutely clear, which Godfrey Wynne said to me many years ago, if you're not sincere when you're writing, everybody knows it. And the reason my books sell is that though my novels are fairy stories, if you like, I am sincere about them. I feel that they're something which women want. I feel they're exciting, and they're exciting to me. When I was very ill a little while ago, I went into hospital. My sons brought me in all sorts of books I like about research, you know, my Georgian period, which I love, and I was too ill. So I lay in bed and read Barbara Cartland, and I felt much better. It was wonderful. I felt happy and romantic and relaxed, and that's why in hospitals they always ask for me. I'll keep on till one.
And we're fast forwarding to a year.